All right. So do you send traffic from paid ads, from Google PPC, from Facebook to a landing page or a homepage? We get this question all the time. It's
Mhm.
probably a never ending debate. And even if you know what you should be sending to, what should it have on it? There's so many conflicting opinions and it's not super straightforward. So we get these questions a lot. And that's why we're bringing you some data today and what we've seen and some examples of really high converting landing pages and homepages that work so you can really capture the most amount of your leads through your website. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Today's episode is sponsored by Apple. Apple, thank you for changing the way we connect to our devices every 2 years to make things difficult. So sorry, guys, for the late start on our live show today. Due to connectors and hubs failing from Apple. Anyways, just kidding. Today's show is brought to you by our sweet landing page builder. We got a lot of cool tools within Carrot to make building pages and creating content way faster, way easier for you, so you can create landing pages within the Carrot platform. So, yeah, Trevor, let's kick it off. This is not a super straightforward answer to this.
Yep.
We're just going to say that right off the bat. But we get this question all the time, like, where do I send my paid traffic to? Let's talk about the psychology. Put ourselves in the shoes of a seller or a searcher and talk about, how that depends on where we might send them to.
Yeah, dude. So on this topic, we were talking before we launched live here, and we could give the quick answer, right? Hey, landing page and homepage. But what we need to start to do and what we do on this show is we want to get you guys to understand marketing at a higher level.
Yeah.
So let's go up into psychology. So the first thing is it depends. There's no clear cut and cut and dry black white answer of landing page, homepage. It depends on a bunch of different factors. So from a psychology perspective, when we really think about it, we have to ask the question of, where do they come from? What phase in the customer journey are they? Are they way early and they might be kind of interested in selling their house or buying a property? They might be kind of interested in looking at a new HVAC system, or are they, oh my gosh, I've got to get this taken care of now, and they're really down the customer journey, right? What device did they come from? So did they come from a cell phone? Did they come from a desktop computer? That matters a lot. We'll show you guys some data on it. But at the highest level, you have to look at those factors first. Where are they coming from? Google, Facebook, or Google search. What mode are they in? Are they actively searching, or do they just click an ad and they're distracted in Facebook? And then what device? And we're going to show you guys some we're going to talk about some examples and give you some advice on how to structure the page based on those factors.
Yeah, and so to kind of get a feel for where they're in that customer journey, we're almost asking, how cold is the audience? Are we building pages for colder traffic? Or are we building pages for warm traffic?
Yeah.
Some of the some like a paid Facebook ad typically might be colder traffic. We're going after them for the first time if it's not retargeting like we talked about last week.
Yeah.
But if it's Google, if it's organic search, if it's SEO, these people are usually warmed up. On most keywords, they're warmed up. They're searching for how to sell my house fast. They're motivated.
Yeah, the motivated word is the biggie, right? Because anytime we have a problem or challenge and we go to Google, actively search it, we're in research mode. And when you're in research mode, you don't want a slim down landing page. I remember I've told this story many times in the podcast where we had bats in the attic. And I looked at all kinds of different pages, and there was a bunch of really pretty short landing pages. I didn't engage in any of them. The one that I engaged in was the one with a lot of content because I was in research mode. And I wanted to click the link that said, what bat diseases can come from guano. And I wanted to click the link on how to do the cleanup because I was in that mode. Right.
Yeah.
So organic search, and I'll share some data with you guys. We pulled it out of our Google Analytics a little bit ago to illustrate this. That on organic search is about 60% engagement rate, meaning when they landed on a website from a Google search, they then did an action, right? They stayed on the page for longer than 20 seconds or so. They went to two or more pages on the website, or they took an action and became a lead. Okay. 60% did something. When you look at the paid search side of things, is 50% lower. So 50% lower engagement rate, meaning those people aren't as much in the research mode. So you don't need as much content to capture them. But when you look at conversion rate on the other side, the conversion rates were similar. Organic search almost always beats out paid search, but it beat it out by a slim margin. I think it was about 1% lower, or 0.5% lower on the paid search side. So when you look at it, you go, okay, even with a lower engagement rate by 50%, we were still able to get them to convert because they were in the mode of just like, I just need to get something done and move on,
Mhm.
versus the organic searchers want the information.
Yeah, on the landing page. The other
Yep.
thing that was interesting when before we went live, we're looking at a couple of heat map tests. So we're
Hmm.
looking at the split tests on a landing page versus a home page.
Yeah.
And for those of you that haven't run heat maps, basically it's just a really super interesting visual of where people are clicking on the website. So
Yep.
you can see a little bit of light green dots where a few people have clicked, or if, for instance, everyone's clicking on the form, it's going to be lit up bright red and orange.
Hmm.
Anyways, there's all these little, notice these green specks all over the top of the landing page.
Yeah.
And I just found that kind of interesting. It's like people were trying to click to maybe where a nav would be, or trying to go to a homepage. So
Yep.
even though it did convert, that kind of ties into what we're talking about. It's like a homepage and a landing page
Mm-hmm.
without navigation on the top can and both do work,
Yeah.
depending on who's running them. But I found it so interesting. People going to the landing page were still like, okay, how can I get to the homepage?
Yep.
You know, they're clicking up top because
Exactly.
people are just so used to that.
It's user behavior, and we'll dive in like what is a landing page, what is a homepage, because we're going to shatter the way most people talk about homepages and websites here in a little bit. But is there anything we didn't talk on the psychology part? I think we got that part.
I don't think so. We got the psychology. Yeah, we talked about the paid traffic having a 50% higher engagement rate. That's pretty
Yeah,
stark.
lower engagement rate.
Or excuse me, yes, lower engagement rate. Yeah, the organic had about 50% higher engagement rate.
Hmm.
Talk about mobile versus desktop.
Mobile versus desktops. So here's the interesting thing. We were looking at a test that was ran to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of motivated house seller leads. Okay, and when you look at the blended conversion rate between the two, we sent to a homepage, like a traditional carrot type of a homepage that wasn't customized at all. We're saying there was no customization other than a logo.
Yeah,
because just wanted to test the basics of it, of just down to the basics. What would it convert at? Now, as you add in credibility, and as you add in story, and as you add in your personality, conversion rate should go up, right? But what we found is, and this is what we knew going in, when you shrink a website down to mobile, the way that our websites are built, there's not a lot of difference between a desktop website and a mobile website, other than a desktop between the two, because on our websites we take the hero section, we shrink it down on mobile, and they're pretty much going to look the same at the top of the site, whether it's a desktop or mobile, or whether
yeah,
it's
the
a long
flow
page or
is
not.
not dramatically changed. You still got the form up there.
Yeah.
The elements are still in the order that they should be
Yeah,
in
and
order
you
to
lose the
convert.
big fancy image in the background that you might see on a desktop
Mhm.
computer, and that's where a lot of people get stuck on this design visual of their website. They're usually looking at it from the desktop perspective. But if you're doing Facebook ads, you
Mhm.
need to pretty much exclusively look at your website from a mobile perspective, and that's it.
Mhm.
Because sometimes 90% of the traffic from Facebook is coming from a mobile device, so it doesn't matter how amazing that big image is in the back. You need to pull it up on your phone and go, okay, is the form up towards the top? Can I scroll down through that? Do I have the right credibility? Do we have the right order of content? And the home page, in that case, versus the landing pages, actually converted better. It
Yeah.
converted better by about 1%. It was 23% conversion rate in this test, and that was through Google Ads, versus a 22% was the next highest converting landing page versus the homepage on mobile. Desktop, it flip flops now, because now it really does depend on what is the overall experience someone sees from the pictures, from the whole thing. And we found that there was a certain format of landing page that we're going to show in the after hours. If you guys are not in the after hours in the podcast, head over to the Evergreen Marketing Show in Evergreen Marketing for Real Estate Facebook group. Let's go check it out, community.carrot.com. You can find your way there, and that's where we show the examples after the show.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So let's do this. Let's kind of give the generalized answer. We've said it depends, and it really does depend. But for organic SEO, you need robust pages. Like if landing pages are not going to rank, they don't rank.
Yeah, they won't have enough content.
They're too thin. They're not helpful enough. Google's not going to rank a landing page. So organic SEO, you need robust pages. So like a location page or the home page of your website. This is what Carrot members are ranking with.
Yeah.
Facebook is sending Facebook ads somewhere, typically a shorter landing page, a little bit slimmed down. You can do it with navigation or no navigation, but we'll talk about the key elements on the landing page in just a sec. And Google Ads, PPC, same thing. Typically shorter landing page, slimmed down, but the caveat, we have a lot of, I just talked with, it was last week, we talked with Tim Opelt from Wholesale and PPC, and he's saying a lot of my clients, they're Carrot members, and we just run the PPC traffic to their homepage just because it works.
Yep.
So both can be done.
Yep.
let's do this. Let's talk about kind of some of the elements of a landing
Yeah.
page, and then we'll go into the coaching call, Q&A, show some examples, and
Yeah.
answer some questions.
Heck
So,
yeah.
um, landing page, Trevor. Before we kind of break down the specific examples, tell me about let's uh let's change the conversation on like
Yeah.
what makes a homepage versus a landing
Yep.
page.
Yeah. So what is a landing page first, right? A landing page is a page that traditionally doesn't have navigation at the top. Traditionally, it can, but most of the time it doesn't. It doesn't have like an about page and reviews and things like that. Traditionally, it's shorter content. And you send people there from a very, very specific source. And that page is set up specifically with the wording and everything, knowing it's coming from this source, right? Everything about it can be customized because we know if we're driving an ad to this keyword, we know what keyword they're searching and clicking on. We know what mood they're in. We know what mode they're in. We know where they are in the customer journey. We can deliver them the exact message right there, right? What a traditional homepage is, and this is where people need to change their mind because we'll all be in Facebook groups. I was in one a couple weeks ago. And someone said, hey, we're doing Google pay-per-click. What should we do? Where should we send it, landing page or homepage? And you'll hear people in there that will say it with authority and expertise. They'll say you should always send to a landing page, and home pages don't convert. Never send it. That's like conversion 101. You always do to a landing page. That is true. The way that marketing has historically been done before we came along in this industry. The challenge that we saw was most sites. We pulled up a plumbing website right before this. I said, Brady, let me illustrate this to you. I'm gonna prove it to you.
Yeah.
The way that most websites are set up is really, really bad for conversion. You go to that plumbing website, it has a big old picture of the owner's face, it has some content, no form anywhere to engage in, no call to action at the top of the site. Then it just gives me a bunch of information. Now I've got to search for where I need to engage and get a hold of them. Okay. We said this is, well over 10 years ago, when we started Carrot. We said, well, what if we actually made every page on the website a conversion page? What if we made the home page and all location pages landing pages that also can rank well in Google? They get the best of both worlds. They get the high conversion because we have what we call the hero section. We pioneered that in this industry. So if you see any website provider out there, we pioneered this in the industry. The website providers in this industry didn't do that before we brought it to the market and made it widespread, the normal thing that everyone sees today. So I call it a mini site, okay? The traditional website you never want to send traffic to. A mini site structured for every single page to be a conversion page with the right psychology elements built in, that can convert amazingly well on paid traffic, just like we illustrated with that test.
Yeah.
That homepage structured in that way converted better than the landing pages did on mobile by a wide margin in some cases. So what should be on a page then, whether it's a landing page or a home page? That's what's most important.
Right.
It's not the technology of landing page versus home page. Is what is it that's on the page,
Right.
and then what is the behavior that the person is in that they're going to land there, and which page will give me the best shot of having the right content on there for them. Okay.
Yeah.
So the order of your content should be something like this. And this isn't new. I've done videos on this 6, 7, 8 years ago. We've adjusted a couple things as we've gone, but in general, it's psychology. Psychology doesn't change over decades. It changes over millennia, right? If not more than that. So the first thing is you need to have the top of a page, whether it's a landing page or homepage, have what we call a hero section. Really quickly, it calls out what we do, says what to do next, and a really, really clear call to action with a form. I suggest forms, not buttons. Okay, we have tested buttons where you click it and it pops up a thing that tends to add resistance. Forms, not buttons, there usually.
Yeah, I'll just add in really quick. I brought this up a couple times on the podcast, but it's been a while. Donald Miller, Story Brand, Marketing Made Simple, Business Made Simple. He calls it the 5-second grunt test.
Yeah. Yep.
Open your laptop, show somebody your website, leave it open for 5 seconds, and then close it and ask the person, whoever, your spouse, friend, say, okay, who am I?
Yep.
How can I improve your life? And how do you get a hold of me?
Yep, exactly.
Can your website answer those 3 questions in the first 5
immediately
seconds? Who am I? How can I make your life better? Notice I didn't say, what do I do?
Yep.
It's totally different than how can I improve your life? And then how do you get a hold of me?
Exactly.
5 seconds.
And that's key. So we do that both on landing pages and our Carrot home pages by default, and the location pages. That's built in. Okay. And that's the major difference between a traditional website. When people say never send traffic to a website, always send to a landing page, is that they're not looking at the new way that we developed over a decade ago of driving high converting websites.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's assume that you're using that method, the method that we've pioneered in this market. Then right below that, you need to bring some credibility in. Okay. Right out of the hero section, it's like, bam, it's exactly what you said. Then right below that is why you should believe us. It could be some logos of clients you work with if you're in other industries. It could be data. It could be facts. It could be we've closed this many deals. It could be testimonial, whatever's the most impactful right there. Right below that, now we need to bring people in to go, well, let us introduce you to us, right? Here's what we do. Hey, we buy houses in this area, or we are expert plumbers or HVAC technicians in this area. Here's some little couple paragraphs about us, right? Great. We're friendly. It's the handshake going, hey, cool.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of talk with you and see how we can help you. Then from there, usually it's something the effect of a basic of the process, right? Hey, awesome. So here's what we do. You already saw that. Well, here's kind of how it works. You just engage here and we'll set up an appointment and we'll come out and meet with you. Or, it's something, it's your method, it's your process. It's demystifying how it's going to look
Maybe
like
it's
to
4
work with you.
squares, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, or
Yeah.
3 short bullet points on here's what you can expect from us.
Yeah, it's something like that. That's the big thing. Is like, how does it look like to work with us? And there's a lot of different ways to do that. And then they don't have to be in this exact order, but this is kind of the order that I have tended to like over the years. Then I'll do another credibility sandwich in there somewhere. I might pop another testimonial or a piece of data or something like that in there again that furthers that sale. And then I want to bring in some more content. Okay, that's where it might be in real estate investing, the situations that a seller is going through. If it's a cash buyer website, it might be the areas that you have properties, the types of investment properties that you have. If you're a plumber or HVAC technician, it might be all the services you have, or all different things that you can repair that you sell in there, so people can see, oh, well, here's all that. I'm one of those things in there. Okay. Yeah. And then you can have more content in there, but then in general, it goes down to, I kind of like the credibility again, bring in another objection that you need to blast with a piece of a video or a testimonial or something about your business and your close rates really high or something. Right. And then an FAQ. FAQ has been around for years. I would say the last year to two, especially. Google has been really rewarding pages with FAQ on organic, but for years, FAQ has been amazing for conversion on PPC. So an FAQ and then a CTA form at the bottom. Now, there's other ways to do it, right? If you're multi-location business, now towards the bottom, you might have, here's the areas we serve, that kind of thing. But those are the elements: hero, credibility, intro on what we do, basics. So, here's the basic steps of how to work with us, more credibility, content that gives the depth of kind of who you serve and how you serve it in your services, credibility, FAQ, CTA form.
Yeah.
That's the same on homepage or landing page. The main difference is how robust the content is going to be in each one of those sections.
Yeah.
You might have 9 testimonials or credibility pieces on your homepage, but 3 or 4 work really good in that landing page, right? Yeah. And I'll toss back to you because we're going along here, or I'm going along. The key difference here that people need to look at is this, once again, when we look at homepage or location page versus landing page, is if your homepage is too broad, and it doesn't target the visitor from a paid ad good enough, then I would usually go to saying you should have a page that you're going to convert higher when it's more targeted versus less targeted.
When the copy is more specific.
Yeah. So if your homepage is generic nationally, hey, you sell us your house, we can buy your house. But if you're marketing to Roseburg, Oregon, I'm probably going to want to market to a Roseburg, Oregon page.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter if it's a location page that's robust or a landing page traditionally. But then maybe where you might have some landing pages is you've really narrowed down the niche of foreclosure. You've narrowed down the niche of selling an inherited home or probate. Those niches, if you have good, robust, high converting content pages for those, great, send it to that. Otherwise, you can really quickly launch landing pages in our platform, leveraging our data. We build in the pages based off the highest converting pages in our system.
Yeah,
we've got 1 or 2 really good converting ones in there right now, and we're going to continue to work on taking our data, saying across our platform, what converts the best. Let's go make and mimic the pages so it takes you 35 seconds to launch that page and get going with it if you want to do landing pages.
That's awesome. So just to summarize, we'll bring this portion to a close. If you're listening to the podcast, we're going to jump into the live coaching call, the Q&A in just a sec. Trevor and I are going to pull up some examples, answer any questions you'll have. But if you're listening to the podcast, join us live every week, Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central. Oh, Pacific. I had to really think about that. 11 a.m. Pacific every Thursday. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and we will see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, let's get into it, man. If you guys have any questions on coaching, or excuse me, any questions on landing pages versus home pages, let us know. If you have a landing page you want us to take a look at, pipe it through the comments. We love to take a look at it and tear it apart. Just kidding. We'll compromise it. Yeah, I want to pull up some examples, Trevor, of kind of so we can show these different elements.
Let's do it, man. So let me share my screen. Oh, I didn't get in a StreamYard. Let me get in a StreamYard. So while I'm pulling up the tool here to get in there, y'all.
Sorry, I totally threw you on the spot.
Good, you're good. There we go. I made it. No login required this time.
Hey, nice.
Sometimes it like sends the email support and makes me get in there, but we're good. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen, and the biggest thing on this conversation, we're going to answer other questions. I see your question, Tony. So thank you for bringing that question in. We're going to answer the questions here. So I'm going to pull up a couple tests. Okay. So the first thing when we're talking, once again, landing page versus homepage, if I were to give just the most basic, quick guidance, I'm going to say, unless you're really scaling up paid traffic at a expert level, just send it to the high converting homepage. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's easier. It's there. When people say, once again, like we talked about in the podcast, when people say, "Oh my gosh, never send to a homepage of a website," that is good advice to the general business, because the general business's website is a brochure.
Yeah.
It's a here's who we are, kind of here's what we do.
And they're thinking about what they know websites to be for businesses in general, not how carrot sites are engineered.
Exactly. Now, if I'm in HVAC, so we're working with some of our HVAC clients who do HVAC, and they're plumbers and they're electricians and they're same businesses all on the website. Mm-hmm. You're going to be sending the landing pages there, or some specialized page. You're not going to send it to the homepage. Like, the homepage is not the page you're going to send paid traffic to, because it's not targeted enough. We don't know, it's not specifically speaking to the plumbing client, to the HVAC client, to the electrical client. It's speaking to all of them of here's all the services we offer. But if I'm running a Google ad to gain HVAC clients, it's going to go to an HVAC page. And it might be a landing page, it might not be. But either way, it's a page very, very specific to HVAC. And I'm going to stop using the word landing page. I'm just going to say it's going to go to a page specific to that topic. And then you can determine how much content goes on there or not. Yep. But I'm just going to always default to just use what you have at Carrot, because it already converts well out of the box. Now, if you want to start scaling up, and you're spending thousands of dollars per month on paid traffic, and you want to really dial in that conversion, then I would go, test them. And there's tools out there we can show you guys to do testing, cheap or free. Google Experiments is a really, I wouldn't call it a simple tool. It's a free tool, but Google Experiments is a tool that is simple enough where you can set up a split test and run half the traffic to this page and half the traffic to that page and see which one converts well. Microsoft Clarity is another tool, a free tool. And if you can pull up my screen here, Braden.
I'm going to put those through in the chat.
Yeah.
That's weird. I just pulled up experiments with Google, experiments.withgoogle.com. It doesn't even look like a Google site. It's interesting.
Yeah.
While you're pulling this up, Trevor, let me throw you a quick curveball question. So let's say you're a hybrid, you're an agent and investor, and you have a brokerage, and you're doing a lot on the retail side, but you also buy houses for cash. Let's say maybe like Anthony Beckham here in Roseburg. So you have a Carrot site. It's hybrid. It works for investors and agents. And you're doing paid traffic. Would you then send to a landing page specific to how to sell my house fast?
Yeah, the rule
properties.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, I'm probably not going to use the word landing page much in this conversation anymore. And I'm going to mainly get people to think about not the technology of the page, more of the content and the substance of the page. And then you can choose what technology to use. Do you just duplicate the Carrot homepage and adjust the content, or is it easier just to go launch the landing page, right? So let's talk about the technology. The landing page, you use that, and you don't expect or want Google rankings from it. Okay, so that's one of the core differentiations. If I'm launching a landing page, I'm like, I don't want it indexed in Google anyway. I don't want it to rank well in Google. I've probably already got a really robust long page for that thing over here, and I'm just testing one that I don't want to rank well in Google, not be indexed, and have it be shorter, and probably with no navigation. Okay, so in that example, it always goes back to what what should the content on the page be that is the most hyper focused to that visitor? So if I'm Anthony, I'm a hybrid agent investor, and I'm running ads to sellers of real estate. I'm going to send to a carrot motivated house seller page where it says sell your house in Minnesota or whatever, no fee. I might need to adjust the no fees, no commissions part if I'm a hybrid, but I could say the quickest or whatever, put the most cash in your pocket. We help you find the multiple options, but it's going to be a page there. After you get the lead, then that's where you determine if they're retail or if it's cash buy. And that's where I think most agents or hybrids are doing it wrong. Most of them are driving traffic to a agent retail listing, hey, get your home value. And then they think the investor side is different. It's actually the same, as long as you make sure that the message on there is about them selling their house. And you decide or you guide them once that happens.
Yeah, interesting.
Now, if you're going after buyers versus sellers, and let's say you're an agent like Anthony's, let's pull up Anthony Beckham's site really quick here. So Anthony does really well. This is his real estate agent website, right? So when I've talked to a lot of real estate agents who are trying to do paid traffic, and they go, man, I did Google pay-per-click for 4 months and I dumped $500 a month into it and didn't really get anything. The challenge with Google ads for sellers, for agents, for pure agents, is it takes so long for the cash conversion cycle to catch up with them. Meaning they have to put cash out today. It takes a long time to turn, oftentimes, a retail lead into an actual closed sale and money in my bank.
Yeah.
But as an investor, it's not out of the norm for people to get a lead today, close on it within 2 weeks, and have their money within a month.
Yeah.
So you can convert the cash much more quickly and make paid traffic work better. The other issue that agents have in general, and HVAC and all those other companies, is they'll send the traffic to a page like the one that we're showing right here.
Yeah.
So the one that we're showing is a traditional agent site. It's got the smiling faces. It's got the home for sale, the house, the sell my house. It's got some listings. This is not going to convert for a very targeted sell my house or very targeted buy a house.
Yeah.
This is great for people who are typing best real estate agents in Roseburg or top real estate agents in Roseburg or things like that. Okay. But then if I am marketing directly to buyers, home buyers, dude, this is how crazy I would get it. If I specialize in 2 or 3 neighborhoods or 2 or 3 subdivisions, I'm going to create a page or a landing page. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to test both for every subdivision. Looking to buy a house in XYZ, especially if people are searching it, I'm going to drive to a very drilled down page specifically for that subdivision. And that's where a lot of agents, they're not doing it. They're driving these broad pages.
Yeah. I was just going to Google to see what Anthony is, because he's running PPC ads. I noticed this yesterday. It looks like his PPC ads are going to beckhamgroupinvestments.com. Going to go there. I don't want to click on his ad, cost him money.
And that's probably a motivated seller site.
Yeah.
But he also has another site. I probably spelled it wrong, but he also has another site that I've recognized that's popping all over the place in Google search. Yeah. So this is the one he's driving his Google ads to.
That is the one that's popping up for Google search. In the Evergreen Marketing Workshop yesterday, I used this as an example for location pages. Because if you Google "sell my house fast" Sutherland, Oregon, he's ranking #1 for that.
Dude, he's got another one too. So I haven't talked to him about this, but I keep on seeing this one pop up.
He's just testing and testing.
Let's see. That's not it. That one's not it. It's like that. Where'd it go? There's another one that's like ASAP. Something about ASAP.
Oh, it's not ASAP cash offer.
It's not. Well, it might be. There's this one. Anyway, it's not popping up here right now, but there was one yesterday. He's ranking really, really high all over the place.
Yeah.
And I thought at the bottom it was Anthony's face on it, which is cool. But yeah, guys, simplify it. Just think of this question. What if I can recognize specifically and identify who I'm marketing to, and if I know what they're searching for, what their intent is, I want that page to be as specific as possible to that person. You and I, right before we launched the podcast live, we were looking at some of the data, and one of the pages that in this test converted really, really high was a page that was using what we call dynamic insertion. Right, that's a fancy phrase for when you land on a page from a Google search ad, you can dynamically insert things on the page based on that user. So one way that some people will do it is they'll dynamically insert the search phrase that they came from into the copy, which gets kind of weird sometimes because the search phrases kind of can get weird. I
Yeah.
don't suggest that. But the other way is we can dynamically insert their location,
Hmm.
right? So let's say you're in Philadelphia, but there's 5 cities outside of Philadelphia. It's going to be more impactful if I land on a page that doesn't just say sell your house in Philadelphia quickly, but it's like I'm going to make up, I don't I don't even know if this is a place. Let's say there's a place called Forest Hill. That's a suburb out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My page would then be able to automatically say, sell your house in Forest Hill, Pennsylvania.
Ah. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
reason I bring that up is you can technically do that on the Carrot platform with someone who knows the code to put in there. It's simple to put the code in there, but you got to have someone who knows what code to put in there. Um, and the reason it works is because it makes that page even more specific to that visitor. The more specific. So I'll give an example, Brady. Let's get as crazy as possible.
Let's do it. I'm always down to get as crazy as possible.
Let's say so you built a barn dominium, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're going to Google and type, I'm making this up, but barn dominium contractors in Roseburg or
Yeah.
something.
There's no results.
Yeah,
Google just breaks. There's zero.
yeah, there won't be, but assume that there was this amazing market for it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
contractor saying, I'm going to do barn dominium contractors. Like, what if that person knew you already had a piece of land that they already knew where it was going to be, and let's say that person already knew like how big you want it to be. Let's just theoretically
Yeah.
say they did. Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to land on a page that literally had a picture of your property that had, hey, are you looking to build a barn dominium in the green area of Roseburg, kind of like this, looking for something of this size and with these specs and with this, and you're in this budget range, well, I'm the perfect contractor for you. You'd be like, dude,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm actually not even going to opt in at that point. I'm going to scroll down to the footer, find the address. I'm going to drive down to their their office. Like,
exactly.
dude, we got to connect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus what most people do is they're going to send to their homepage of a website that is not optimized like a Carrot site,
Yeah.
and it's going to be Roseburg contractors.
Yep.
So that's a very, very stark difference.
Mhm.
Now we can't read our clients' minds all the times, but we can know more about our client based on what ads we're running,
Yeah.
and what got them to that site.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, let's answer a couple of questions. Do you want to share any other examples, or want to tackle some questions?
Yeah, I'll share a couple actual landing page examples. So we were looking at in our data, and this is for Google PPC anyway. And we're always compiling this data, but this is across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads. Okay, so this isn't a couple dozen leads. And we said, well, what are some of the pages that are converting pretty darn high in Google PPC? Okay, these weren't a collection of the top 4. These weren't the top 4. These were just among the top 20, 30, 40. We grabbed 4 randomly out of here. Okay. So this one here is converting on Google PPC. This is only opt-in. This doesn't include phone call leads, which pushes that number even higher. 27.8% of all the traffic with over 84 online opt-in leads, probably more phone calls from us. So this conversion rate is probably between 30 and 40% in reality, which is insanely high.
Yeah.
What does that one look like? Well, it's pretty simple. It's using a page. They chose to eliminate the logo. It's using some of the default content and copy that we've got. They added in a little bit of their own custom content. It's got a great image in the background. Has our default proven opt-in form with a button that stands out. Button color, it doesn't really matter as far as what color it is. Is it blue? Is it green? Is it purple? Is it red? That doesn't matter. What matters is that it stands out, is that it contrasts from the rest of the page.
Yeah.
So this one works. Could they change it to orange and it work just as good, if not better? Maybe, right? Possibly. It might convert better, might not. But either way, it stands out. That's a good thing. And then it goes into, if I were to change this one, I'd add in credibility and testimonial right there, right below the hero. I think it'd bump conversions even a little more. But then it goes, hey, here's how to work with us. Here's a little bit who we are. CTA, here's some of those benefits, right? Here's some of the people that we can help. And then here's the FAQ. And then here's the form. You saw that was a similar format to what we walked through earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
really
one
simple.
thing I was going to point out, scroll back down to those benefits. If you're on a homepage, a lot of people would traditionally do this in like a block of text, and maybe they'll highlight things that'll be writing through a paragraph.
Yep.
You got to think people coming to a landing page, they're looking to get the information quick,
Mhm.
bite-sized nuggets. So I really like the way they laid this out,
Yeah.
bullet points and check marks.
It's really simple. So I'll show this one. I've talked with Marco on this one, and he's totally cool if we dive in and show it as well. We're driving the traffic to this one with Brendan on our team, and been doing it for years. Marco's made multiple seven figures from this page right
Yeah.
here. Okay, so if you go to his homepage, let's go to the homepage. Let's look at the difference here.
And that's with the Google PPC traffic we're driving.
Yeah, so this one here, I'm looking. I switched over to the homepage. I'm gonna switch back to the Google PPC page here in a second. But you can see the homepage is longer, right? It's longer. It's really really robust. This is specifically made to compete in Google to have the robust content in a really competitive market of Florida. Okay, so when we look at it, you're still going to see a lot of the same elements. Once again, you're going to see the hero, the BBB, big fat contrasted button that's a call to action, some credibility. You're going to see content.
I
You're
really
going to
like
see,
that dollar emoji he's got on the button. I haven't seen that before.
yeah, yeah, that's
Kind of
cool.
neat.
That is cool. You're going to see just so many things. You're going to see the credibility. Then we're going to see the situations like we talked about, the steps. So there's a lot of content here, right? Now let's go back to that landing page. So the copy is a little bit different, and I'm not going to say specifically because I don't know whether those words on top of that particular form made it convert better than the other words. But those other words that I just showed are kind of a little bit more optimized for the keyword he's going after. Because they're driving this one from paid traffic, they don't have to care about keywords on this one. They can just write copy for conversion, not copy for trying to go after a keyword,
Yeah.
right? Unless they know the keywords they're going after. And if they know that people are clicking from sell my house fast or cash home buyers Florida, you should probably put those words on the page somewhere because it then joins the conversation in that person's mind. But you can see it's the same stuff up top. It's the same stuff there with the BBB. They're going for some of the same things. It's step one, step two, step three, just played a little bit differently. It gives some options, gives some content. So it is structured differently, but it's probably half the content. But it's a page. It's not a landing page. So the main difference there, of course, is just eliminating the nav right there.
Yeah.
And I'll show people how you can do some of this. So what they did there, they didn't use the landing page tool there. They just duplicated the home page, which you can do. But what I would do is I would go here to landing page. If you guys want to create a really simple, high converting landing page, okay? We grabbed one of the highest converting landing pages from this test right here. This test, in general, this was the highest converting landing page across hundreds and hundreds of leads on this test. And we replicated this landing page for all of you guys. And now let me go find back what it was. Right there. I can go in here, click add new landing page. This landing page is the one that came from that test. So we're bringing the results, bringing the test into the tool. Okay, we can select it. Let's say we're going for Florida. Let's say we click next. We can add a tracking link right there if we wanted to. I can skip it. Let's view the draft within, 10, 15, 20 seconds. We're taking that landing page that came as one of the highest converting ones on paid traffic, and we got it there. And so now you can go in and do some basic editing. You can adjust some things, but within a couple minutes, you can now have a landing page to test versus that longer page. Okay. So you see some copy, but I can turn different things off. I can adjust things. I can have no background. I can have a background. There's a bunch of things I can do to this website or this page to kind of spruce it a little bit. You see how quick I was able to build a page that's very similar to that, and we can just move things around. Pop in here, center it, adjust it, make it happen. I'm going to get out of this so I don't launch it on his site.
Nice.
Cool.
All right,
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
we got a couple questions from Tony. I was just on the back end of Tony's website doing some digging while you're doing that. First question, unrelated, but that's okay. We're here to answer questions. We're here to help. So if you guys have any, pop them in and we'll help. Tony said, if I'm adding content weekly to my site as instructed, how often should I resubmit my sitemap to Google?
Yeah, it's a good question. So on the content side of it, Tony, I think the first thing is it really depends what type of content we're adding, right? And dude, it's been so amazing watching you dive into the 30-day challenge, just engaging the Facebook groups. So thank you. What I would really focus on in that first 90 days is I would really focus on your location pages. So that home page, and then your next 5 to 10 or more, if you have more markets you're in, location pages. So on the posting content weekly, usually, and things have adjusted over the last year or two, but usually I would start doing that once I've started to get traction with my location pages.
Hmm.
Okay, now it doesn't mean you can't post content prior to that. You can post niche authority blogs, you can those things. I'm just saying to simplify the heck out of things. If we wanted the simplest version of an action plan, really focus on customizing the core conversion pages first with your credibility and getting those things on there, and then launching those location pages, and then making sure those location pages, of course, are tracked in the SEO keyword ranking tracker tool, which actually, share my screen. Let me show you guys something here. Let me show you guys something. This is brand new as of Monday. As of Monday, guys. So if you have not seen this yet, as of Monday, you pop in here into the SEO section. If you have the SEO tools add-on, which is only $29 a month, way lower cost than other comparable SEO tools out there for what you get. Now you're going to be getting a site audit tool. So the site audit tool is brand new. It's in beta. As far as it's new, we want your feedback, but it works amazingly well. So you can check out the site audit tool. Another thing is, I would highly suggest that everyone do this, including you, Tony, is go in and make sure that you have your website hooked up to your Google Search Console. This is a new feature within Carrot as of Monday, where now you can take your Google Search Console account. If you don't have a Google Search Console account yet, I would suggest you invest in the 15 minutes to get a free Google Search Console account set up, because it gives you extra data and information that you could not get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then it'll take you about another 3 to 5 minutes max to come in here, go to search performance, and then integrate your Carrot account with your Google Search Console account. It's going to bring in all this fancy data here.
That's pretty easy. If I did it, any of y'all can do it.
Yep.
A Google Search Console account.
Exactly. And the key, like, there's a lot of amazing things it's going to give. It's going to tell you impressions are how many times is your website showing up in the search results, your average position stuff. But the thing that I love the most is now there's no mystery what keywords are actually driving traffic to your website and what keywords you're getting clicks on. So with this one, with Bo, I can see here the average position is 2.2, which is pretty good. And he got 1,500 search impressions, meaning 1,500 people during this period of time saw his website. And he got a 0.75 CTR. Okay. We ideally want to see if we can't get up above the 1%. Man, if you can get over 2, that's going to be really, really good. But let's get up over the 1. But he got 11 clicks from it. So 11 of the traffic during this time period came from that particular keyword. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So make that integration. But I would start there, guys, and then I would make sure that you've got your location pages in the keyword tracking tool. We just actually, for those who have this tool, we've expanded your keyword ability to. I think if you have the SEO tools out on, we took it from 25 keywords to 125. It's
I think it's either 100 or 125.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's over 100 now. So you guys are 4 to 5xing the amount of keywords you can now track with the same price. And we're adding so many other features to the mix. So get that started. But the reason I say start with your location pages, and that's probably almost all I would focus on for the first 30 to 60 days, is really just get focused on seeing those start to rank somewhere, and then going through our training and making the adjustments to that page and getting your citations done. So getting your Yelp or Yellow Page or Google My Business profile, get those linking to your website. Okay. And then you should start to see things starting to climb. But if you are posting the content weekly, Tony, just make sure that the content that you're posting is really intentional. And that's something we can help you with for sure.
Nice. We got one more question here from Tony. He said, when I put, and I think I might know the answer. He says, when I put my URL in Carrot Keyword Explorer, it shows only one result. From one of the blogs that you started for me, which was a blog I think it was specific to how to sell your house fast in Ohio. I don't have it pulled up, but I was looking at it a second ago. He said, but when I look at Carrot SEO ranking, I'm in the top 10, which you verified on Google for a bunch of key terms. What's the disconnect? Which one? Congrats, Tony, because I looked as well in your ranking for your your company name and your company name plus reviews, which is awesome. That's what we're teaching.
What's his
That's what you want
URL?
to do. The URL is, let me go back. I just had it pulled up. Sellmyhouseservice.com.
Okay, cool.
I was thinking maybe there's not enough volume within SEMrush.
Could
Would
be.
that cause it?
It could be. Yeah, Tony, you've done a great job, man, on the homepage.
So he's ranking #1 for Property Piece Reviews, #1 for Property Piece Ohio, #2 for Sell My House Fast, Grandview Heights, and like a lot of top 3 and 4 rankings for a bunch of different locations,
Cool.
which is awesome.
Excellent.
It just started 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, that was quick. That was quick. Yeah, so the high level of it, Tony, kind of without knowing the details of it, is depending on the tool that we're using to grab that data, they report on different cadences, and so it might be like a week lag or so before this one picks up that it's ranked #2 or #1 or something like that. So yeah, the tools are accurate where it grabs the data. It's accurate at the second that it grabs the data, but we don't pull the data throughout the day. Some of the tools we might pull it once a week, and that really helps to #1 keep the drag of the load of your software down. So it's a really quick service. It's really quick software. It's easy to navigate, and it helps us to make sure that you're not like day trading SEO. Right. That's one thing that we always want to focus on is I want you looking in your account every day to see where your ranking is, because it's going to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
I would look in at the start, maximum once a week. As you're really going, I'd probably do a monthly check on my SEO rankings. Yeah. But it's just a reporting delay, likely depending on the tool or the API that we're pulling.
Which is pretty standard for most softwares. I was talking with PropStream about this during the summit, saying a lot of data providers will say like, hey, we update our data daily, and it's like, okay, well they can say that they update their data daily, but the data providers they're pulling from might update every couple days or every 2 weeks or something. So that's pretty normal.
And our data comes from the one of the biggest SEM or one of the biggest SEO tools and data sets and APIs in the industry. It's comes from SEMrush, and SEMrush is it's the gold standard in what we do for SEO data, for APIs, things like that. So that's where we're grabbing that data to really bring it through. So you guys don't have to pay the $100 or $200 a month for SEMrush. We bring the feature sets in for you, included for the low cost.
Sweet. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it today. Congrats, Tony. You're killing it, man. It's really cool to see you ranking for some of these terms.
Heck yeah.
#1, #2, #3. For some of these terms, and you've only been with Carrot 2 or 3 months. You're killing it, man. Tell other Carrot members to do what you're doing, because it's cool to see you getting results. I looked at your website. It looks like you've done some really good optimization, added some credibility and photos on there. So thanks for doing what we teach, and you're getting results. So we just want to celebrate you, man.
Dude, once you start to get your first leads in there and your first deal, man, we want to celebrate the heck out of it with you, Tony. So keep us updated on the journey. That's what fires me up the most.
Yeah.
Is the technology that we have is a tool to unlock the freedom and impact that we want to help you get. Because at the root of it, that's why we're here to help you guys and gals live the life that you want to live. The business and our tool are just conduits or vehicles to help you get there quicker. And so, dude, let us know when those wins come, man, because we're going to celebrate the heck out of that with you. We'll get some Carrot swag. And it's the same thing for everybody else watching this, that when you have wins, pop them into the Facebook group, celebrate with us, and we send out swag all the time for people who are closing their first deals or their biggest deals. So let us know, guys. We're going to celebrate it with you.
Sweet. Next week, join us. We're talking about, this is one of my favorite topics, how to build a testimonial machine. So proven ways that some of our best members are doing to get testimonials, how to actually get them from people, where they should go, where to put them on your website, where to put them online, and really how to leverage them so you're making the most of testimonials, because that's one of the biggest things you can do for anything related to your website, anything you're marketing, is you get really juicy testimonials and leverage them properly. So next week, build a testimonial machine, Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And thanks for hopping on, everyone. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys later.